So, I mean, the current legislation, if we're to have a simplified planning zone, that cannot apply to, as I understand it, greenbelt, national scenic areas and conservation areas. But your proposal doesn't include these areas. Are you minded to be more specific or reintroduce those kind of restrictions?
You're right that the simplified development zones do not cover these type of areas, convener. The question that Mr. McMillan was asking was round about the advertising situation. Are you asking similar in terms of advertising in the areas that you have just listed? Is that what you're...
No, I'm asking a slightly different question.
Okay. Right. Well, simplified development zones would not apply to the areas that you have listed.
Would not?
No.
Okay, but that's not in the bill.
I will check back and get back to you on that. I'll maybe bring in Mr. McNerney at this point.
Okay. Our policy aspiration is that we should look at some of the areas, for example, conservation areas, town centres, where there might be potential to use simplified development zones. And it might well be that for things like changes of use and other opportunities to regenerate town centres, there could be a role in the future for a simplified development zone in, say, a town centre or a conservation area. But the scope might be much less than it would be, for example, in mainstream industrial or commercial areas. So we would like to ensure that we can tailor the implementation of strategic development zones to avoid the most sensitive areas, but to look at the capacity in areas like conservation areas, which currently wouldn't be a simplified planning zone.
That contradicts what the Minister's just said. The Minister said that the current restrictions would apply, and you're saying, well, no, they maybe not apply.
Well, I raised conservation areas because that's one area where we think that there is some potential for simplified development zones. But in terms of national scenic areas, etc., no, I don't think we've promoted that as a policy proposal. Right.
Well, I say it's not in the bill. Perhaps it should be.
Convener, I will get back to you and we'll clarify some of these issues that have been raised today. Setting out the types of land that may not be included on the face of the bill while allowing for entries to be added or removed by regulations would address your concerns, and I'm content to adopt that approach. And we will, as I say, write to you regarding those issues, particularly around about the advertising and